Okay, so we're going to review the 6 steps to success for writing this setting paragraph. This paragraph is part of a bigger essay, but we decided to break it into pieces and steps so it'd be more manageable. So if you were really writing this essay, you'd probably already have an introductory paragraph, and that introductory paragraph would have a thesis that argues that setting and characterization develop theme in the giver. So this would be the body paragraph that claims that setting is responsible for developing the theme. And, if you think about it, so many things would be different if we changed the setting. For instance, if we weren't in a community with sameness, everything would be different. The plot events would change, the conflict would change, and the plot events and the conflict all help develop the theme. We're going to focus in on a specific setting. We're going to look at how the annex actually develops the theme. And if you think about it, all of the memories Jonas receives, they're in the annex. He can receive all of those memories because he has the privacy there to do so. It's filled with items of the past, books and furniture. So all of his exposure to good and evil of a world without sameness, it all happens because we have the setting of the annex. So that's kind of how we're going to look at it. So first, when you get into your document, I want to remind you that the close read that you did is linked in here. So really, you don't even have to go back to your book. You can go into this close read and you can pull your text evidence. You can even look at your answers in the close read and use them to help you write this paragraph. Then we need you to watch these 2 videos. They're quick, they're short, they're interesting, and they're really going to develop that idea that, again, setting develops theme. They're going to help you give you some language and some thinking with regards to how you explain. So you can see here it says, for this assignment, you'll be writing about how the annex is necessary to the development of the theme. Think about it, without the annex, so many things would have been different, including Jonas's experience. Okay, so you need to start with a theme. Now you can come up with your own theme, but if you click here, there are possible themes. And these are themes that I found when I researched the book that students have developed over the years and that I've come up with. So it's a nice little list of themes. You're going to pick one, but make sure you're comfortable with it because the next paragraph you're going to write is going to use the same theme. So you're going to pick it and you're going to copy and paste it so that you have it there and you're thinking about it as you write. Then we're going to open the sample. Okay. And what's nice about this is as I'm writing, if I'm not quite sure what to do, I can click over here and you can see this is the paragraph, but it's broken up into pieces. And these are the pieces that you're writing. So you have your topic sentence. This is about a book called Ender's Game. So it's the same prompt, just obviously a different book. So we have in Ender's Game, Orson Scott Card uses setting to develop a theme that explores the idea that people cannot control their circumstances, but they can control how they respond to them. So first of all, you see we have the book and it's capitalized and italicized. We put a comma after that introductory phrase. And then we have our author, capitalized obviously. We have the word setting because you're asserting that setting develops theme. And then in this topic sentence, we included the theme. People cannot control their circumstances, but they can control how they respond to them. Now, what you're going to find is when you put this whole thing together, you're going to want to be careful not to be repetitive. So if we put our theme here in the topic sentence, then when we go back and write the intro in the thesis statement in our intro, we might not want to spell out the theme since we are spelling it out here in this topic sentence. So for now, just go ahead and add your theme to the end of your topic sentence. Then we need, remember, background information. So background information, remember, is where we summarize what's going on at the time of the quote so that the reader of our paper understands the context. So and this is good for you because if you don't know this book, you'll see how this fills in the information you don't know. Enter boards a ship to begin his training. He quickly orients himself to the null gravity. As he does this, he begins to laugh at the images he creates in his head, like Graf standing on his head. Once Graf catches on that Ender has oriented himself faster than the other boys, Graf uses it to manipulate the ship norms and turn everyone against Ender by identifying him as superior. Now we need our wrapped quote. So when we say wrapped, we just mean we put some of our own words in front of it. We made it a flow quote or a dialogue quote or a colon quote. In fact, Ender has the realization that in military culture, when the sergeant picked on you, the others liked you better. But when the officer prefers you, others hate you. And notice I have the author's last name and I have the page number. There's no P, there's no PG. It looks exactly like that, and the period's on the outside. I've started with my own words. Now I have to explain how the quote is proof that the author used the technique to develop something, right? We use setting to develop characterization or conflict or plot, whatever it might be. Card put Ender in a military setting with null gravity to force him to strategize. He must learn to be analytical and fierce. First, he has to analyze how to get another boy to stop acting out against him, and he does this by using null gravity to break his arm. Now, from this point on, he will have to figure out how to deal with the conflict caused in part by the setting. And then here I need to explain then how that develops theme. The lessons that Ender learns because of the setting develop the theme by showing how he does not let the circumstances he's been placed in control how he responds. So I want you to keep coming back to this if you're not sure what that piece should look like. You're not going to have to add a second quote, so you can ignore the second part for now. Okay, so down here, look at our prompt. How does the author use setting to develop theme? Pick one setting, ice it. You need one example, plan it out. So you're going to put your topic sentence right in this box. We even have a sentence starter here. You're going to have to fill in what setting, and you're going to have to fill in the theme. Okay, so you need to find a quote that shows, again, how the annex is used to develop eventually theme. So if I were you, I'd go right back up to my close read. I'd pull a quote out of there that I like. I copy and paste it in here so then I can go back and introduce what's going on at the time, right? And I probably would explain how he gets his job as the receiver and he goes to the annex to get trained. And then whatever else I need to add, depending on what quote you pick. So then I go back down to my quote and I begin it with my own words, right? And if I forget how to do that, I click here. Remember, you can use plot clue, speaker, listener, or you can use transitions. And then I'm going to make sure I cite it. So it's going to have Lowry, and it's going to have the page number. I'm going to put that numeral there just to remind you that it'd be a number, but I wouldn't actually use that numeral sign in my citation. Okay, and now I need my explanation, my ice. So it has two parts, just like it did in the sample. It is going to explain what the setting develops, and then it's going to explain how whatever it developed relates to the theme. And I'm going to have at least two to three sentences. And then all I need to do is copy and paste all of those pieces out and put them in paragraph form. Remember, a paragraph is indented, and then all of the sentences are next to each other. We don't have big gaps or spaces. And read it through carefully a couple of times and make sure it is color-coded. So if I were you, I would go ahead and color code it right in the boxes as I write it. Like I'd make this yellow, green, etc. Notice this is two different colors. And this is two different colors because it has two parts.